I wanted to do a video today that is, if I'm honest, pretty pointless because you've heard it 17 million and a half bajillion times before, and that's that you should use reviews and testimonials on social media in your advertising. But I wanted to dig a little bit deeper. So I was reading a book on how to write better copy, and it mentioned a bloke called Rory Sutherland, who's a very, very British bloke, who's I believe the vice chairman at Ogilvy Advertising, the UK division. Now I've listened to Rory Sutherland's work quite extensively on both YouTube and also his book. I've read it or listened to it about 3 times, and it's about 9.5 hours each. So I've listened to a fair bit of Rory Sutherland content. However, I can't seem to find the quote exactly, so forgive me. So I might butcher it a little bit, but I do want to talk about something that you mentioned. So basically, it was the idea that popular products are popular because of their popularity. Sounds pretty obvious, right? And it sounds a bit confusing. Why am I even mentioning that? Well, I believe it was Rory Sutherland who said that basically if you go up to a bar and you've got 3 guys or girls who are drinking Guinness, you're more inclined to drink Guinness or ask for Guinness rather than asking for anything else. Now the reason why is because if you think about it, just like when you're buying something or you make a decision, it's really a matter of risk, which sounds really, really strange to say. But if you've got 3 people at a bar and all 3 people have chosen to buy and drink Guinness together as well, then there's a good chance that the Guinness is pretty good. That makes sense. But why do I mention the risk part? Well, if you then choose a beer like Tiger or Stella Artois, however the hell you say it, you're running that risk that 3 people are at a bar, they've all chosen Guinness, you're now choosing to buy a different drink. So you're purchasing a different drink than all those 3 people. So you've got the proof there that Guinness is great. People like Guinness because 3 people are drinking it, but you're choosing to take that risk, because that's what it is, to choose a different drink. So that's kind of like the basis, the premise, right? Now, when I started to read into this, when I was reading the book earlier, and I started to think about it, I started to think about people mentioning social proof. I hear it all the time. There's tons and tons and tons of apps on Shopify that are for social proof, but then I started to think that people actually aren't using social proof the way they should, in the sense of they've got reviews and they might even have a review page, but that's kind of where it ends. So, and forgive me because this is going to be quite a sporadic video with my thoughts. I've got bullet points in front of me as you can see, but there's not really much structure to it. So we talked about that popular products are popular because of their popularity, but now I want to talk about how you actually gain popularity. So the 3 bullet points here that you can see, which is paying for reviews, paying for influencers, and paying for blog posts. The reason why I put paying is because it's going to expedite the process. Of course, you can you gain reviews naturally when you send out orders and people choose to leave a review. But when it comes into paying for reviews, you can actually go on Fiverr and you can pay someone to create a review for you, either write one or do a video on it. And the reason why this is super powerful, especially video format, is because when you see reviews on Lux or Shopify reviews or whichever app you're using, if it's just a text review, you've seen them thousands and thousands of times. And whilst it still will have an effect on what you think of the product, it's not going to be as powerful as if you see a face next to it. That's why when you go on a website, let's say SEMrush as an example. I haven't been on their website in a long time, but if you go on SEMrush, I can guarantee that there's going to be some form of testimonial of a CEO or a COO, and it's going to have a picture of the person right next to it. So the reason why is just because when you've got a face next to it, it adds just a little bit more validity to their suggestion. It's not a I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to say nameless, but I don't think that's a word. Or faceless, sorry, but I don't think that's a word. But when you can assign a face to a review, for whatever reason, in our brains, we can assign... it adds validity. That's why personal brands are super, super popular, and why when you're buying from a company, oftentimes people are often against companies. It's a us versus them mentality. But then if you're buying from, let's say Ezra Firestone, I'm sure a lot of people, if they're interested in advertising, know Boom by Cindy Joseph. Ezra Firestone's the face of that brand, essentially, when people type it in on Google. So whilst you've got Cindy Joseph, who's also, the face of the brand in that sense. You've also got Ezra Firestone, who talks a lot about the marketing behind Boom by Cindy Joseph. So anyway, that was a really complicated answer to that. But if you go on Fiverr, you can pay for a review, but there is people who are happy to take your money and happy to create fake reviews. They don't even test the product. And if you're going to do that, just don't associate me with it. I don't agree with it at all. It's completely unethical. What you can do is there's a lady on YouTube called Carrie Blogger. She actually does a lot of helpful copywriting videos, and she's a freelance copywriter. If you go on her Fiverr page, it costs around £80, but you can send a product to her and she'll do a 2-minute video unboxing the video and giving you a review. And obviously you could just take that video straight off there and you could embed it into your website. And then obviously if you had it on the review page, you could use that, or even on the home page, you could include it there. So the next thing is paying for blogs. Now I don't know how to say his name. I think it's Behezer or something to that effect. I don't really watch a lot of his content, but one thing I did see is that he paid someone to do a Forbes article for him. Now, in terms of SEO, completely forget that. If you're going to have someone who's doing guest posting, or they're like a freelancer for Forbes, something like that, you're not going to get any link juice back to your website, and any backlink juice, because oftentimes they have no follow links on there. But one good thing about it is if you pay someone on Forbes £100, £200, they create an article. However amazing or bad the article is, you can then choose to use the logo on your website, saying seen on Forbes or seen on CNN. I don't know why I'm using American companies when I'm from the UK, but you can do things like that, and it's it's allowed because you are genuinely on there, and you obviously if you want to, you can even attach a link to that image. So that's paying for blogs. Now, paying for influencers, everyone always bashes on about this, and I actually haven't. I'll tell you right now, I haven't actually invested much money into it. When I've asked for, because I sell pet products, when I send things to, I think I've sent 3 items out, and whilst the post got a lot of traction, there wasn't any sales as a result. So that could be down to me, or it could be down to the Instagram account. I don't honestly know. I'm not too versed in influencers, but again, the influencers side goes back to, if it's a personal brand, having a face next to the products will help you immensely to sell the products. And again, you can use that on your reviews page. You can use it in your marketing, especially if it's a prominent influencer. So say if it's like a macro influencer, I don't know, like 500,000 plus, and they've got a fair bit of following. Imagine using a video from them on Facebook. There's a company called, I believe it's Tech Ball, and I actually saw a video from them while I was scrolling through Facebook today instead of actually doing any work. And it was, I think it was Ronaldinho, David Beckham. There was an absolute ton of it, and it was literally just a really quick compilation of all these football players using their products. And I went on their website, and it was massively successful, and it was like 400 odd euros. I'd never spend the money, plus I don't really like football, but the people who do, you've got their idols using the product. So it's really, really good idea to pay for influencers, which I know you know that, but now you know why. So the next thing is, I've already mentioned it a couple of times, but how you actually show this popularity so you can start to gain something from it. So again, review pages are massive. I actually don't see them a lot when I click on products from Facebook. They've got reviews on the products at the bottom, but everyone expects them to be there anyway. So Crown and Paw, and I do it as well. On the top, on the navigation bar, you've got like your contact us and your male portraits, female portraits, whatever the product is, but they also have like a customer reviews, and it's a page dedicated solely to reviews and only reviews. Now if you go on there, you honestly probably won't read any reviews, but the fact that you can see 432 5-star ratings, and you can scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll, that's brilliant. Now when it comes to you've started a new company, start a new business, and you actually don't have reviews. Now, whilst I advocate not necessarily importing products from China, but again, if you can source it from AliExpress, from France, Italy, I'll put up a little card that talks about fast shipping. But either way, if you can do that, then you are allowed to import the reviews using the app Lux, which I'll link to in the description. Well, there's an absolute ton of stores that use it, and there's a ton of YouTubers who recommend it. Again, it goes back to what I said about having a face or a picture next to the review. It just adds validity. It's an absolute brilliant idea, and they've made an absolutely fantastic app, an easy to use app that'll do it. So definitely get Lux, even if it's on the basic plan, and just import the reviews. Now, the only thing I would say is, if you're going to sell a product from X seller, don't import reviews from Y seller, just because it appears to be the same product. If if you're not sourcing reviews from the seller, so that the person who's actually going to send out the goods that you're selling, it's entirely unethical. Don't source reviews from another place. Use the reviews from your seller. Okay, so I just want to put that in there. Now, in terms of testimonials in a prominent place, I banged on about reviews and I've on about a review page, but in terms of testimonials, so I don't want to bang on too much about this, but if you go on a product page and you're looking to buy something, one of the main reasons that you don't buy something is either the price or you don't trust the website. Now, if you think about it, I don't think I've actually ever bought anything from from clicking on a Facebook ad there and then. I might have come back to it at one point, but a lot of the time when you buy things from people, or people who are buying things from Facebook, you've never heard of the brand before. A lot of the times it's impulse buys. But if you decide, I want it, but I don't know who this company is, and you decide, it's too much of a risk, and you leave the website, which I can guarantee your customers are thinking a lot of the time, you want to retarget them with an ad that will show either the reviews, again, a video review potentially from a blogger or an influencer, or even just a link of scattered reviews on an image, and then that'll direct them to the customer review page that you've now set up. So yes, put testimonials in prominent places. What I mean by that is, say if you go to add something to your cart, I think Crown and Paul do this. You go to either add something to your cart, or you get to the checkout and they've actually embedded 3 reviews, like 3 5-star reviews. And it's just another thing to say that, listen, you're making the right decision. These people, have really loved their products. Why don't you consider, actually going out through to the checkout? So again, put testimonials in prominent places, both on your homepage, your customer review pages, and then again, put it in either your cart, on your actual, rather than the cart drawer, put it on the cart page. And it's just a little bit more social proof, and it's gonna help the customer through the journey, because you should really be optimizing for each part of each stage of the buying cycle, basically. So you've got, on the homepage, you want to increase people going. You want to make it easy for someone to go from the homepage to your product page. You want to make it easy and incentivize people from going on the product page to add to the cart, and you want to incentivize people going from the cart page to the checkout. And then lastly, you want to incentivize people to go from the checkout to actually paying, because loads of people add stuff to the cart. I think it's something like, it takes, as an industry average, it's something like 7 add to carts to 1 person purchasing. That's a massive drop, and especially if you think about how expensive it is to advertise to people in the UK and the US. So you really want to optimize each stage to try and push people across to that point so they can actually purchase. Now, videos reviews, I've already talked about this. I'm going to keep this really brief. With the influencers and even the blogs, if you get someone to do it, or even your customers, obviously, when you send them out on when you send them a review request, say you want to make it about them and that they're helping others. Don't make it about yourself. So say that you would be helping hundreds of customers making their, or you would help hundreds of customers to make the decision on buying a gift or something like that, with a video review, and it'll help us improve the products for you. So include something like that on the review request email, and try and get people to record videos and send in pictures of the product as well as leaving a review. Then you can repurpose that with their permission on Facebook ads, Google Display Network. You can use it on Instagram for user generated content, which Instagram loves. You can then post it on your Facebook and Twitter, or even Pinterest. You can go all over the place. You want user generated content, especially of people that are happy with your products, especially in video form. That's really awesome. Now, pictures of products, again, we're going to skip over this basically and just leave it there, because I've talked about that immensely. Ask for pictures. Never be afraid to ask for a picture of the product or a review from a customer, because I can tell you, I've used Amazon for years. I don't think I've either ever left a review or maybe left one. I buy loads of stuff. I never leave reviews. And whilst Amazon's great at getting reviews from people, if I receive an email, well, here's an idea, right? So not necessarily Amazon, but when I uninstall an app, a lot of the time the app developers send you an email saying, why did you uninstall the app? We'd like to know, so we can improve it for you next time you reinstall it. And you basically, it nearly always gets me. It's just an automatic email, and I just respond saying, listen, it didn't work with my theme. And oftentimes they'll reach out and say, sorry about that. We'll send over a collaboration request and we'll get it sorted. So really long video explaining why. Let's go back to it. Popular products are popular because of their popularity. but it's something you need to know, and you need to know how to use it wisely, rather than just relying on some of the videos that come out that say, you know, make sure you have picture reviews and make sure you have a review page. So it's a little bit more detail, I suppose, and hopefully that helped. Thanks very much for watching, guys. If you have any questions, or you want any request a video, just pop it in the comments and I'll respond to every single comment. And I want to make some more videos on the topic anyway, so if you have any specific requests, just pop them in the comments and I will make the video. Thanks very much, guys. Take care.